Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye bye. Yes, hi, we're here with Justine and Nizami. Please
Hi.
introduce yourself and tell us about you.
Hi, my name is Nizami. I am an Azerbaijani director based between New York and Switzerland.
And what's the film we're gonna see of yours in the festival this year?
So our film is called Glimpse of Childhood. It's about a young girl who is witnessing her family go through individual struggles that make them forget about her birthday.
Okay. And Justine.
My name is Justine Colan. I am an actress. I'm based in New York, and I've been recently doing some projects, including Glimpses of Childhood.
Okay, great. All right, so welcome. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining us. So what made you decide to become a filmmaker? What was that moment like? When did you decide?
I partially blame it on my father. He owned theater when I was younger, and I took my first steps in his theater. So I've been exposed to a bunch of different films since my childhood. I was later around the age of 12, 13, when I decided I wanted to become a director, writer, make films in different languages all over the world. So yeah.
Oh, very good. Good. And when did you first decide I'm going to act in movies? Is this something you've done your whole life? Is it something you took up in school? Because you're in New York, we have some great acting schools.
Yeah, I go to a performing arts school, but it started when I think I was 6. It was a version of It's a Wonderful Life around Christmas time, and I was in that with my siblings. And since that, I've been trying to just act and be in as many projects as I can, and I really love it.
That's great. All righty. That's cool. And so, okay, I guess we'll start with you, Justine. Is your family supportive, or are they sitting there going, "Ah, you're wasting your time. I want you to get a degree in finance and go to work on Wall Street"? What
Uh,
are you finding?
they're definitely supportive, I think, because I have 3 siblings, and other than me, and then 2 of them are actors. So
Okay, so yeah,
yeah, my mom helps me a lot throughout the whole process, and my dad's supportive too. He likes coming on set to like every once in a while to see what happens.
okay. And you, young, sir?
Same. It was an instant, and I didn't tell them for a while that that's what I want to do. But as soon as they learned and saw my first works, they immediately supported and trusted in me. Just like Justine's parents, they visit and see everything I do. Um, it's always on their Instagram, Facebook feeds, asking people, telling them to watch and go see the films. So
That's great.
yeah, it's nice to have that
That
family support.
Yeah, all right. And I guess, okay, the other question is, so are you both surrounded by a tribe, like where you live, like all your friends, well, you said you go to performing arts school. So I guess a lot of your friends are also into it, so it's easy for you as far as your friends go. You can tell them what you have coming up next. They come see you, sure,
Yeah,
those things. And how
as
about you? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like I especially like to be in productions with them, like at our school, or like just whenever I can. It makes it really fun.
Okay. And you, same thing, you have a tribe in Switzerland there?
I do, but I think it just gathered in the last 3 years. I didn't have any of it when I was in high school. There's not much focus on film in Switzerland, but once I moved to New York and got into New York Film Academy, that's where I sort of had that group
Mhm.
around me.
Good. All right, great. All right, so this film per se, what made you decide that you wanted to do it? What gave you that impetus? And
I think as I grew older, there are a lot of family secrets and struggles that I learned about, and it made me think about how supportive and thoughtful my parents were by doing so, not exposing me to sort of different adult issues as a child. Um, and it made me think of those who are exposed to violence, to sort of issues of adults who have to witness all of that. So, and especially putting a child into that, sort of looking at some serious issues like self-harm and cheating, seeing all that through a child's perspective, I think is a waking up call for a lot of adults.
And what did you think when he first came to you with this? Did you say, "Ah, this is going to be great," or did you think, "Nah, this doesn't really happen"? What was your feelings?
Uh, so it was like very abrupt because I got called in, um, it was, I got called in as like kind of like a resort after the girl who was originally supposed to be in it, she couldn't do it. So I got a call from my mom and I was like, and she said, "Hey, they want you to be in this short film, Glimpse of Childhood. It's going to start filming tomorrow." And so I was excited and I was looking back on the scenes and yeah, it was definitely I was just very excited to do it as I am with most projects.
Caught you by surprise, but you were a good surprise, a great surprise. Okay. All right. So when it came to making a movie, what was your hardest part with directing? Was it directing the children? What was
The hardest part was in pre-production. We had quite a rough pre-production, including casting. There's so many actors coming and going. And we had to sort of find a family, people that would look good together, could connect. And I'm someone who rehearses a lot, but for this one, most of our actors came in the day before or on the day of the first day of shooting, just like Justine. Um, so it was interesting because we didn't have a lot of time to go into the details of the film, but I think the script allowed us to be quite specific and detailed from the get-go.
okay? And what was the hardest part for you?
I think it was, I mean, it was trying to like put myself in the position of the character I was playing. It was very it was because I don't experience like any of that usually at home. So I had to really like go in depth into thinking about what choices I would make and how she was feeling at the time, and that was
The hardest part. And what was the most fun that you had making this movie?
meeting the other cast. And at first the other people in the cast, and it was at first I was a little shy because it was the beginning, but I remember there's a dinner scene that happens on my birthday in the film, and that was really fun because all we got to do was just sit down and eat cake and talk, and that was like
That was great.
yeah.
And how about you? I see you smiling there. Was it fun? Was watching this whole interaction the best part for you?
Yeah, same, because the script had some sort of starting off points for the dialogue, but the rest of it was quite improvisational. So I think we all were waiting for that scene where they had to improvise, and every take, every shot was different. Like in some of them, Justine was leading and surprising other actors. In some cases, it was the other way around. So it was fun to see them sort of react to each other.
Yeah, improv is a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
No, I just said yeah.
All right, so are you happy with the final product? Are you still sitting there thinking, "Oh, I could have edited this differently"? Like how do you, when you wrap up a project, are you usually happy with it? You say, okay, this is what I've got, I'm just gonna leave it? Or do you always look at your projects and go, I could do this better, I could do that better, and you want to
Um,
do?
as a director, I don't think any of us are happy right after the shoot. And like you watch the footage and it looks different than you imagined. But once the film is done, that's when I realized that this is very close to what I imagined early on. I was especially happy with the cast. Again, since so many of them were cast last minute, it seems crazy how I can't imagine anyone else at this point in their place. Um, and yeah, there's nothing I would change. But there's that moment between the end of production and post-production where it's a roller coaster of emotions, like, oh, I gotta make another movie and change this and that. But yeah, as soon as the film finished, we were done with the sound and color and all of that. It all came together, and I realized that it is very close to
What you
what
want?
was on the script. Yeah.
Okay, good. And were you happy, Justine, when you first saw the movie, just sit there and go, ah, look at me act, no, or just sit there and go, yeah, I nailed that. Which one was it?
I don't think it was either. I think it was just I was satisfied with it, and of course I could have I've like I could have done better in some scenes and or in other scenes I'm happy with, but the final product was very it was really cool to watch myself on a screen.
Great. I guess my next question would be, inside the indie world, we all know that as indie filmmakers, we're not going to become rich doing this. So what would you call success for an indie filmmaker? What do you feel what is success for an indie filmmaker? Is it breaking into the big leagues, or, because I've been doing indie films since I was 16 years old and I just kind of love it. But anyway, what would you consider?
I think having the right people by your side and support, like having people that would support your vision so that you are free enough to, like, I have my own goals, which include a couple of specific stories, and I guess being able to create what you want at the scale that you want. I think that's a success. Like, you don't have to make any decisions that would compromise your initial idea, and just so that you're not contemplating whether, oh, why did I make that decision and agree to this and that. I think, yeah, just being able to execute at the extent that you want and plan. Because even at a bigger scale, there are directors that don't have a lot of freedom, that have to make decisions that are not their own. So yeah.
So you think it's the ability to make the film that you want,
Yeah.
rather than having to worry about anything else. Just
At
this is what I want.
whatever scale. Yeah, it could be small, could be big, could be a superhero film. If you manage to execute your idea, I think you're a happy person.
And Justine, are you considering? Do you want to be an actress when you get older? You want to direct? You want to write? You want to? What is your goal?
I think like most out of all of them, I would want to be an actress. But I also like because that's what I've been that's been my dream ever since I was 6. So, but after I've just like recently started writing, and I've like sometimes I just finished a short film with my friends, and I directed it with one of my other friends. So I would like want to not pursue it as my full career in the future, but at least like maybe take a chance to work on both of those in the future. Especially like, but like overall, I would want to be an actress.
Okay, cool. Great, great. And I guess my last question is, if somebody came to you and said, "Hi, I want to be an indie filmmaker," what would you say to them? Would you tell them they were crazy? Would you say that's a great idea? Let me tell you how awesome it is, or what would be your suggestions? What would be your, they came to you and said, help me out here. What do I do?
I don't know if I would give any suggestions because I know so many different people with so many different paths. I would just say, just gather people that are as excited as you are about those projects, because if you're the most excited one and they're just there, I know, for whatever reason, like you force them to do it, I think it might become quite toxic and disruptive. So I would help that person to find more people that are just as excited and love filmmaking as much as I do and that person is.
So I guess what you're saying is find your tribe, people who are as excited about what you want as you are.
Yeah, yeah, and they'll push you to make more. So,
And Justine, I know you're young, but what would you say to somebody younger?
I would say that if you would, whenever you work on a project, or you like to work on really becoming a certain character, and not and to like just have fun while you're doing it, and also just like I would say the main thing is that if you're going to do it for the reason because it makes you happy, or do it because it makes you, if that's what you want to do, make sure you are doing it because you want to do it, and it like you enjoy the time that you spend on it.
Your passion. Do it for the passion.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, basically, that's all the questions I have. Is there anything you two want to say? Any questions? Anything you want to, your closing statements, anything?
I guess watch the film, find us on social medias, and let us know what you think of the film. If anyone else had similar experience, because I know about you, Justine, but like I had a couple of people sort of come up to me and text me at the other festivals saying, sort of telling me about their experiences that were quite similar or completely different. It's always sort of interesting to hear those thoughts. Justine, have you shown the film to your classmates? Because everyone I know is quite old. I don't have anyone who's like at your age.
Yeah, I've showed it. I think I showed it to like a couple of my close friends, and they really liked it. They were saying, well, at first they were kind of like, oh, that's so sad, but then after that, it was like they were like, that was I think one of them was like, that was eye-opening or something like that.
Okay, so the film is called The Glimpse of Childhood. It will be shown at the New York City Independent Film Festival on June 5th, Wednesday at 9:15. So do join them, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.